Hi everyone, this is Laura with the Fitness Skinny. I'm going to take you through a beginner flow. Roll down onto your back. You're going to lift one knee and then the other, stacking it right above your hip in that tabletop position. Your knees could be squeezed together. Inhale those arms up. As you push them down, exhale. Nod your chin, come into an upper body curl and start to pump. Your breathing is inhaling for 5. Exhaling for 5. You're going to do 10 sets. You could send your legs out straight. The higher you lift them, the easier it becomes. The lower you take them, the more challenging the exercise. Alternatively, you can keep your knees bent. You can practice sliding your thighs away, keeping your hips grounded, not letting your tailbone tilt down, keeping your low back still. So you have your maintaining your natural arch in your spine. Keep that breath going. Keep vigorously pumping those arms. See if you can stabilize where your spine is in space. When you're push weight into your left heel, rise your right knee without your hip shifting. Inhale, push weight into your right heel, lift your left knee. Lifting knees, right and left. Can you keep your pelvis neutral, tailbone level? As you're lowering your knee, your tailbone isn't tilting down, creating a bigger arch in your spine. As you lift your knee, your tailbone isn't tilting up, creating a flat back. Your core stability is holding your hips still as you're lifting one knee and then the other. Add a breath to each movement. Keep your spine long. Can you keep your shoulders relaxed and try not to put a lot of pressure into your hands? Lift one knee, then the other, and go for some heel taps. You're going to inhale, lower one heel. Exhale, return your knee to the floor, to the tabletop position. Seeing if you can use your exhale and your core to lift your knee. Again, we're going to keep your hips still and your low back still. If this becomes too difficult, you can always go back to your knee lifts from the ground. Inhale your arms up. You're going to reach your right arm and left leg simultaneously away from your midline, and then switch left arm, right leg. Seeing if you can keep everything still through your shoulders, through your hips, through your low back. Zip up your core and then move. The lower you take your arm and leg to the ground, the harder this becomes. If it's too challenging, you can lift your arm and leg a little higher towards the sky. Go right into bridges, feet hip width apart, even pressure in your heels. You're gonna roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, lower. At the top of your bridge, keep your ribs knit. Don't let them arch. Don't let your low back arch or your rib cage expand at the top. Try to lower down one vertebrae at a time. Lift off one vertebrae at a time. Very articulated spine movement. Keeping length in the back of your neck. Reach your arms back. Push your heels away as you do a chin nod. Roll your spine up, reaching for your toes. Maybe come forward on your mat, giving yourself a little space, more space behind you. Keeping your knees bent, feet grounded, grab behind your legs. You're going to inhale, lead and articulate from your lower spine. As you roll down, like you're going to touch your low back down towards your mat. Exhale at the bottom, scoop, and try to roll your spine back up. Almost like your core is being pushed back and you're having to fight to lift. Notice how my chin is dropping. See if you can gaze forward and keep the back of your neck long. Instead of rounding through your shoulders, you're keeping a nice open chest. Adding on your next set, you're gonna roll back. Hands stay behind your thighs. Find your core at the bottom. Reach your arms forward, scoop. Exhale, curl your spine up. So you're inhaling on the way back. Arms release, reaching forward. Exhale, scoop. Curl your spine up. Just like bridges, you're really trying to articulate. If you were touching the mat, your low back would hit first. If you were rising back up, your low back would be the last thing to leave the mat. Think about it as sections of your spine roll down and then sections of your spine lift, trying to keep your low back rounded as long as it'll stay and maintaining that scoop in your abs until you absolutely have to lift, coming all the way to that straight spine. Now sliding forward, giving yourself room behind you. Sit on your sits bones, balance as you scoop up your ankles. See if you can keep your knees and chest the same distance, creating a little egg shape in your body. Inhale, roll back just to your shoulders. Exhale, scooping those abs. Can you come back up onto your sits bones, finding balance, not letting your feet touch down? Use that exhale, use that pelvic tilt and scoop to get you back up. On 6, you're gonna flip to your tummy. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders. Elongate your elbows, elongate your legs. Inhale, lengthening through your spine, putting a little pressure into your hands. You're gonna articulate and lift into extension, one vertebrae at a time, just to the bottom ribs. You're not gonna let your ribs lift off your mat. So you're lengthening your elbows, melting your shoulders, keeping a nice long spine as you rise to your bottom ribs. Keep your spine long as you lower down one vertebrae at a time, maintaining the integrity of your spine and your neck. Keeping length in your legs, your feet stay grounded. Breathing and sending your breath into your upper back, elongating your shoulders first so your scapula and your lats slide down your back as you rise. Maybe lift all the way up, straightening your elbows and coming off the mat with your hips. That's an option. And you're only gonna lift this high if it's not loading or feeling too much pressure or negatively affecting your low back. And keeping that core engaged all the way. Every section of your spine lifts with your core to protect that low back. Your neck is always staying long. On that third one, push back into a child pose stretch, rounding your spine, melting your heels, your hips towards your heels, reaching those arms long. Maybe bring your arms to your left side. Right hand can always go on top of your left, bumping your hips to the right. And then walk your arms to the right side, bumping your hips to the left. Come back onto your stomachs, reaching your arms forward. Lift just your head up out of water, lengthening your arms, lengthening your legs away from you. Keep lots of length. You're gonna paddle, paddle, paddle your arms, paddle, paddle, and kick, kick, kick your legs like you're swimming. Go for a set of 20 if you're counting in your head. Do another set, lifting just your head up out of water, reaching your fingertips and toes in opposition. Kick those legs, paddle those arms, go for a set of 20. And then go one more set here. Again, round your spine, sit yourself back into that child pose stretch. Head to mat, hips to heels. From here, stacking into all fours, can you reach opposite arm, opposite leg away from your midline? Imagine you're balancing something here on your hips, like a yoga block. There should be very little shifting from side to side. You're going to pull up on your core first and then move opposite arm, opposite leg away from your midline. How much length can you get through your fingertips, through your toes? Maybe you're pausing a little longer than I am. Don't rush through this. Try to connect with your core to stabilize your spine here. You might find that you're shifting a little bit more on one side than the other. Sometimes one side is a little weaker. From there, you're going to tuck your toes, scoop up on your abs. See if you can hover your knees off the mat. Count 1, 2, lower down with control. You're hovering your knees by sucking up on your core. It's lifting you up off your mat. Once you're up, can you have the feeling of pushing into the mat, like your hands are coming towards your knees, knees are coming towards your toes. Really, knees are coming towards your wrists is what I meant to say. So you're lighting up that core. You're going to lift one more time. See if you can keep your hips really still for me, and you're just going to tap one foot, touching your toes down to the side, and then the other. So you're going to add a little toe tap, left and right. Left and right, trying to really stabilize your hips here with your core. Once you've cycled through a set, push back into child pose. Last one for today. Coming onto all fours and then sitting on your side. You're going to turn to face forward. Stack your spine like you're sitting up against a wall. Start with your midline. You're going to pull your waistline back. Peel your spine off that wall one vertebrae at a time. Reaching your chest forward, but pulling your waistline away from your reach like they're reaching in opposition. I have a buddy. Oh, hi, PETA. And then inhale, you're going to restack your spine like you're stacking your spine back up a wall. So you're inhaling off that wall, reaching your chest through your legs, or having the feeling of reaching your chest through your legs. Exhale, restack, finding lots of length through your head, melting your shoulders. Again, articulating your spine, peeling one vertebrae at a time down, reaching but pulling your waistline in opposition. Inhale, restack. Exhale at the top. Bring your legs together, flex to your feet. Flattening out your back, reach for your heels, get a good stretch. Thanks for joining.